Have you ever felt like the problems that you're facing are kind of mysterious? What I mean by that is like, have you ever felt like you keep doing the same things over and over and over again, putting yourself in the same place in life, and you're not really sure why that keeps happening? Because you don't want to be stuck where you are. You don't want to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. But why does that keep happening? Well, on this video, I'm going to talk about why that is and what you can do about it. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm so stoked that you're here. My name is Chris Creed. This is the Wake Up Get Better show. And, one of the things that I try to do on here is document my journey and things that not only I'm going through, I guess, not going through, is like just what's happening and like what's happening in my business. Like when I started my podcast, it was called the Storywell Marketing Podcast, the most recent show I did. And the whole purpose of that was to share my journey in building a $1 million digital marketing agency, which I documented my journey through that in shifting into new businesses and things like that. So it's really cool. I actually left it all up on the feed so you can go check it out. But, I really like that documentary style. You know, when my wife and I were wedding photographers, she still is running the wedding photo business. We would shoot together and we always focused on that documentary style. And then what I liked about that was that we could come into a wedding or an event or a family session or whatever, and it felt like we were almost like a fly on the wall. Like we could observe what's happening and document it and just tell the story, the truth, you know? And there's some kind of play in there. There's some skill involved with being able to do that as a photographer. But I feel like, that idea of documenting truly carries over into multiple different areas and practices of life and business. So this is one of those things. I think it's a skill to be able to document your journey well. And so I want to challenge all of you guys to find a way to do that. Maybe you don't do it in video form and podcast form, but maybe you do it just in a journal, right? So you can look back and you can see where you came from. And what's cool about that is like, you think, well, this is going to be boring or whatever, but it's actually like really valuable for people who are on the path that you're on. And what's cool is that they can look at that and see, wow, I'm feeling that right now. Or maybe they see another segment and like things have shifted and they're like, oh, I'm there right now. And being able to hear what someone else was thinking during the time that, that you're going through the exact same thing is kind of like invaluable stuff. And nobody talks about it, right? So I want to encourage you to do that. But I'm also going to do that today. So one of the things that I've been working on right now for myself is like you guys have probably heard this before and talked about this before of like niching, finding your niche and your ideal client. And oh my gosh, I have always like hated those exercises. And I finally figured out why. And I'm going to tell you in just a second. But that's kind of where my head's been at. But here's what I've been doing to figure out who that is. I haven't been writing it down on paper. I've been assessing how things perform when I post them on YouTube. I've been assessing what people are saying in the world. And I've been looking for how I want to show up and how I want to serve. And sometimes when you do that, things just sort of come to you, like the EFT tapping certification. I've done some EFT on this channel before, a lot of EFT. That sort of came from an inspired idea of being in that mindset of like, how can I, like, what's the next version of helping look like and serving look like? Because one of the things that I've been talking about, especially lately, is like, man, we need people to help people. We need people to stand up and like be helping, like Mr. Rogers used to say, right? Like, look for the helpers. You can be one of those people, you can be the person who's helping. And so what does it look like in the next iteration of my business and the way I show up and serve and exchange value with people? What does that look like? And that's where the tapping came from. But it came from observing and noticing what people were drawn to in my own content. I was just talking to a group of people this week about being able to show up and just test stuff, and this is kind of one of those things right now. So I want to challenge you this week. If you're in a place right now where you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know what their problems are, and you don't know like how to even like, you kind of maybe have a vague idea of what you want to do and how you want to serve them, but you don't know how to like talk about it so that they like it, right? That is a problem that can be fixed through doing things like this right now, where you're sitting in front of a camera and you just start talking, right? I'm going to like cut some of the stuff out that I have said before right this moment, and probably some after this moment, because it's not all good. I'm not worried about it being in one huge long take. I don't care about that. What I care about is the right information coming out. And you may be like me. Maybe you are like a verbal processor and you just can like sit down and start talking about stuff, and then stuff comes out and your points come out and everything just feels good and flows. Then make it about that. Make this work where you're literally sitting in front of a camera and recording content, which you have to do, guys. I've seen a lot of different entrepreneurs lately who don't want to do this part. They want to skip over the content part. Don't do that, especially if you are a coach or even a service provider where somebody's going to work with you. They're working with you, man. They want to work with you. They don't care about just the service. They can get the service anywhere. Why would they work with you? It's because it's you. And the more stuff you have out of here, though, showing your personality and showing how you show up in the world and like you can bring your stuff, that's powerful. And that might be the thing that makes someone choose your stuff over somebody else's. Cool? So do that. And it's also going to show you the way. So that brings me to the whole point of this video here today, which was not that, but that's something that hopefully will help you. The point of this video was mysterious problems. And how do you fix them? And why do they happen? Well, that's actually the reason why I said all that stuff about niching, is because I realized that the people I help have mysterious problems. They have things that are holding them back that they can't really see. They know that they're not exactly where they want to be in life, in their business, or whatever. Things aren't progressing fast enough, and there seems to be these mysterious things that are in the way. That's what I help people with. And the thing about mysterious problems is that they're tough to identify. If you think about like a doctor, you go to a doctor with like all the symptoms or whatever, but there's nothing actually wrong that they can tell you. The truth, that's not usually the truth though. The truth is this, is that it's a mysterious problem that's wrong, right? And you have to figure out what that is. The cool thing about like, things that are literally stopping you is from progressing forward is that it's not something you necessarily have to figure out. You don't actually have to get to this perfect magical memory that's going to tell you everything you need to know about where you need to go next. That's not really how it works. What you can do is certain things to free up the brain space. Like I heard someone say today, what's her name? Margaret Lynch Raniere. She was talking about brain chemistry. And when your brain is being affected by these like past events or whatever, and you kind of are getting hung up, your brain chemistry is different. That means you're trying to accomplish the thing you want to do when your brain is literally different than everyone else's who is succeeding at that thing. It's different. That's absolute like science. Like that's just what we know about how these things affect the brain. So what do we have to do to solve that mysterious problem? Do we have to like go into years and years of therapy to dig out the old like childhood wounds and stuff? Maybe that's a part of your journey, but maybe you can mitigate the effects of that issue by doing things like tapping and breath work and meditation and just simply taking a second to breathe, or just like showing up and creating your stuff. I found that like if I'm having a week where I feel kind of lost, it helps for me to just like literally close my eyes and take a couple of deep breaths and think, how can I show up and create something right now? So that's how you do it. And so in this video right now, today, I'm going to lead you through a very short tapping exercise that's going to help you clear the blocks today, right now, so that you can show up and do something right now. So here's what I want you to do. When you hear this, when you go through this and like actually do the process, you need to do something right away. Like whatever it is, I don't care if it's pop out your phone, record a video. I don't care if it's write down a note, an idea, and then act on it later. Like whatever it is, you need to do something right now because something's going to come up. All right, we're going to clear the way, and I'm going to do it right now. Cool? So I'm going to take off my glasses. I'm going to take a deep breath in through my nose. I recommend you do the same thing, and then breathe out through your nose. Ready? And out through the nose. In through the nose. And out through the nose. Okay, so I want you to start tapping right here on the karate chop point of your hand. And I want you to say, even though I don't understand why I keep doing this, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I don't understand why I keep doing this, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. And even though I don't understand what it is that's stopping me, I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. All right. So we're going to tap through the points here. Let's start up here on the eyebrows. So even though I don't know what's stopping me, even though I don't know why I keep doing what I do here on the side of the eyes, I know that there's something there. And even though I don't really have time to like stop and unravel everything and figure it out right now, I know that I can still clear the path. And I can clear the path easily. And even right now, when I feel like none of this is helping and it doesn't really matter and I'm just going to stay stuck, I know that that's not true. I know that I can move forward. Take one more deep breath in through your nose. And out through the nose. Okay, so I don't know what came up for you then, but I know what came up for me. And I'm going to take action on that right now. And I hope that you do too, because this is how it works. You know, earlier, like when I started this video, I asked if you ever felt like you had mysterious problems that keep you stuck. These things will literally, like whatever they are, like if it's trauma or whatever, if it's, you know, you should definitely like talk to a therapist, like if you have some deep trauma you need to go through or deal with, talk to a therapist, man, and get that stuff worked out, because it's not worth carrying that stuff around. It's literally changing your brain chemistry, and it's making you different than you need to be, or then you that's like when you feel like I just feel like I can't get going. That's why. Your brain is fighting against you. It's stopping you because everything feels like a threat, dude. You have to unplug from that. This exercise I just walked you through is a quick way to mitigate those symptoms. But if it's something deep, like super like heavy, you obviously need to work with somebody on that. I'm not a therapist, but I do know what it looks like to keep pointing back. And that's what I mean. And one of the things that I'm dealing with on my journey right now is like every day, every minute of every day, I turn myself back. I turn myself back on the path. Turn myself back on the path. It's like a blind, like, you know, where they put those horse blinders on because they need the horse to go straight. That's exactly what you have to do. We can't get distracted about what's going on in the world, even if it feels big. We can't get like spun up in other narratives and stories. We have to stay on the path. So my challenge to you, my friend, if you're dealing with a mysterious problem that's keeping you stuck and you keep doing the same things over and over again, do that exercise I just did. And the point of that is, and I want you to think about this when you do it, is pointing back to the path, coming back to the way that you said you want to go, the way that's going to lead you to your vision of the life and business that you want. Cool. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Chris. This has been the Wake Up, Get Better show, and I will talk to you soon.
Slow down. There's nothing to get you. Can always turn it around.